Train and Drops of Jupiter on Wave 105 in our Paranormal Hour tonight. We're talking with mediums and about mediumship. We have Terry, who is with us this evening, and on the line is Joanne from Salisbury Green. Good evening, Joanne.
Hello.
Hello there. So you've got what's your angle on this? Have you got a story to tell us, Joanne?
I have got a story. When I was 15, my brother was involved in a serious car accident with a friend of his who sadly was killed. And a few years later, I used to work in a fruit and vegetable shop in Hedge End, and turned round, and Andy, the guy that was killed, was stood behind me. Just as clear as day, was stood right behind me.
Well, I'm getting a look from Terry as if that's quite a normal occurrence. I mean, is that something that happens a lot, Terry?
I mean, yes. I mean, that's the sort of thing that I would see quite frequently. But I mean, it's a bit surprising when you're not expecting it. I mean, he was a real quite a character, wasn't he?
He was.
And he had
very young man. He's only 17.
Yeah, and he had lovely teeth as well. I'm being made aware of as I'm looking at him.
He had what? Sorry.
Had lovely teeth.
He did.
And so I'm just very much aware of that. So he was absolutely wanting to get his message across, which is invariably the case when somebody has passed, that it's equally as important for them to let everybody know that they're all right. And that's
what
really,
I was told.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he was doing. And he obviously, because you were going through quite a difficult time at that point, weren't you?
Yes.
And I know that your mind, he was just telling me that you were very much in your thoughts. You spend a lot of time in your thoughts. You were daydreaming quite a lot. And he just found that a very easy way just to capture your thoughts and get his message across, which you saw him, then you could then pass that message on.
That's it. Because many years later, I became friendly with a lady who was a psychic. And she said he was checking to make sure I was okay because I blame myself for the accident. Even though I wasn't involved in it, I should have been in the car. But I was grounded for one reason or another. So I blame myself. And they say, or the lady said to me, he's just making sure I was okay and to let me know everything's okay.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what he did, because he doesn't want you to take any blame or any guilt. That's really important that you must let that go, and that's what he did. He's large as life. He's absolutely fine, and watching over everybody. And I know there must be also some nice photographs. One with your brother. I don't know if there was one with in a different situation with a car or something, but he's making me very much aware that they used to spend a lot of time and they used to have a lot of laughs together too, didn't they?
They were like brothers.
Oh, absolutely. There was a really good, strong bond between them, wasn't there?
Absolutely.
So he always had lots of jokes as well, didn't he?
He's just a lovely guy. Absolutely a treasure.
They always say the good die young, don't they?
They do. Miss him dearly.
Oh, and you know what I always say to people, remember the spirit are really only ever a thought away. So there is, when you're thinking about them, they are aware of your thoughts, and it hurts them, and they feel when you're upset. So that's why it's important to them to get across and comfort you and reassure you that they're okay, and you mustn't take that blame.
No.
Joanne,
it's hard sometimes, but...
Joanne, when you turned round and saw him there, what was your initial thought? Did you think you were going mad? Were you frightened? Were you happy?
No, I wasn't frightened. I turned round and saw him and turned away, and then turned back again because I thought, well, something's not right, and he had gone. But I wasn't scared or anything.
Invariably, it's quite a lovely experience when that happens. People feel a great sense of inner peace and tranquility when that happens, and you feel uplifted after it.
I didn't believe it at first, but and people say to me, "Oh, you're imagining it," but no, he was there.
Oh, lovely.
Has he ever come back again, Joanne?
No.
So that was just a one-off. Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us.
All right, thanks so much.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's Wave 105. We have Terry in the studio with us. We're going to get on the phone to another medium in a second, who is Roz. We're going to call her up and see if her sort of beginnings and experiences tie in with Terry's. We'll speak to her after this. From Mark Ronson and Amy Winehouse, this is Valerie on Wave 105. It's The Script, and If You Ever Come Back on Wave 105. The evening show with Andy Jackson. Hypnotherapist Kathy Blackburn will be with us just after 10 o'clock tonight. She's just written a book on how to lose weight and keep it off. More importantly, I know a lot of people are just giving up on the New Year diets now, so if you need some more inspiration, she'll be in for a chat after 10 tonight. But at the moment, we are talking to Terri Stromeyer. Yes.
That's right.
That's the one. And she's a medium. She's been doing it for ages and ages and ages. We've struck a bit of a nerve with a lot of people tonight, and one of those people is Michelle, who's on the line. Good evening, Michelle.
Hiya.
Hello. Where are you tonight, by the way?
I'm in Shanklin, near Isle of Wight.
Oh, okay. And you've got a story you'd like to share with us, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Many years ago, I had a cousin who passed away. She actually committed suicide, and I never went to visit her in hospital because I always thought she was going to get better and stuff, you know. And when she passed away, I actually felt incredibly sad. And obviously, I tortured myself, basically, and I have nightmares, and I think about her all the time. And one night she came to me, I had a dream, and we were walking down the town that I used to live in up north, and she was walking towards me, and I said to her, "Why did you do it?" And she touched me on the arm, and she just looked at me straight in the eye, and I can see it right now. And she said to me, "I'm fine, I'm happy, and I'm okay." And she turned around and she walked off. And then I woke up the next day and I felt no more guilt, no more horrible feelings or anything like that. So that's my first story. And then the second one is I lost my beloved mum last year after a terminal illness, and she was very poorly for about 4 years. And my mum was quite spiritual, you know, she believed in the afterlife and all that sort of stuff. And I went to visit her one day, and she said to me, she was bedbound, and she said to me, "Oh, a man keeps coming to see me in my bedroom." And I made a bit of a joke of it and said, "Oh, does Dad know? You know, what do you mean? What sort of a man?" And she said, "Oh, no, he's not real." She said, "He just stands over there in that corner." And I said, "What do you mean? What did he do? Did he speak to you?" And she said, "No, he just stands there." She said, and then I look, and then he's gone. And that was the first thing that you know, my little psychic window in my mind just sort of, you know, opens then. And then my mum passed away, and I got married 2 weeks after my mum died because we brought it forward to try and get her there at the wedding and stuff. And unfortunately, she passed away before the wedding and everything, so we still went ahead because it was her wish and everything. And just something inside my mind was just open, like that little psychic window that they say we've got. I just felt like mine had been kept ajar, and I'd moved into a new house, and I had feelings of something in the house, and it used to scare me a little bit. And I remember unpacking some boxes. It was the night I moved in, and I went and I lay on my bed, and out of the corner of my right eye, so to the right of me, I could see a man in his 30s, and I can describe him down to a T. And he was just sat on a box in my bedroom, and he wasn't looking at me, and he wasn't bothering me. And when I looked straight at him, he was gone. And then I kept looking forward, and then I looked at him, and he was gone again. And in the end, I actually said out loud, "Can you stop it, because you're actually scaring me?" And I've never seen him since. And I had the similar sort of thing downstairs in my house, and it was a man. Again, I could see him out of the corner of my right eye, but when I looked at him, he wasn't there. And he was about, I would say, 69. And again, I said, "Oh, come on, don't do this. You can stay here as long as you don't bother me. You're scaring me. I don't want to see you." And I've never seen them since. But I do sometimes get a feeling that I'm being watched or something. I'll look up from perhaps peeling the potatoes or whatever, and there's nobody there, and I'm not scared.
It's interesting that you say this, because we were talking off air, and before we actually spoke to you, Terri picked up on something immediately, didn't you, Terri?
I did indeed. I was very much... Hi, Michelle.
Hiya.
I'm sorry to hear about your cousin and your mum. It's as much as you think you prepare yourself when your mum's dying and they're terminally, it's still really hard and difficult.
Definitely.
But, you know, you spent a lot of time together, didn't you? When she
absolutely.
And she was like a best friend as much as your mum, wasn't she?
She was, yeah, she was.
And I know also she always liked you looking in her eye, didn't she? That was the thing. And if you didn't look in her eye, then she would know.
She could tell you were lying if you didn't look.
Absolutely. So I know. So she's very much telling me that. But you know, before she passed, you held her hand, didn't you? Yeah. And you were rubbing her hand. So I know that she was very much there with you. And the thing about it is, she wants you to know she's okay. Yeah. She's all right. And you know, the other thing as well, was there something to do with roses? Because she liked roses, she keeps telling me.
Yeah, she did. She liked yellow roses. And my mum, before she died, would never have fresh flowers in the house, because she said, "No, they remind me of death. They're only going to die. It reminds me of what's going to happen to me." Because she was quite prepared and open about passing away. But I went to see a medium, actually, about 3 weeks after she died, about a week after I got married, because my mum passed away and I got married very quickly. And then I went to see a medium or psychic. It was like a group thing, and I've never been to one before. But my mum came through, but she was very weak, apparently. Apparently they don't come through so soon after passing away. And she said things about flowers as well. And she said, "Your mum said you've got to get the flowers, fresh flowers, in the vase, by the picture and the candle on the kitchen windowsill." And I was like, "Oh my God, how did she know I had a picture of the candle on the windowsill?"
Well, they do, because she's, as I said earlier, they're only a thought away. You also, you're quite a tidy person, aren't you?
I try to be. In my mind, I'm tidy, but I can't always follow it.
You're always tidying up things. And you also, she's talking to me about shoes, so you must also like shoes as well.
Yeah.
And have you just recently bought a pair of shoes, or you're wanting to buy a pair of shoes?
I'm always buying shoes.
Oh, right, because you've got shoes, she's telling me, that you've never worn, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
She knows. Is there an anniversary coming up or a birthday of some description?
You know what? It's the first anniversary of my mum's death on the 25th of February.
Because I know that time coming up, I know it's very, very difficult. And I know you've been really, really thinking about her. So she's just reminding you of that anniversary, you know. Yeah. She used to have a lovely laugh, didn't she, your mum?
My mum was naughty and very cheeky.
She was. And you know, and she's just saying, the other thing I wanted to say to you as well, often when you're you sit in front of your dressing table, you've got a mirror, haven't you? Or it's a mirror you look. Often she is right behind you, and sometimes you must get a feeling or sensation where she's behind or something's there.
I feel her all the time, to be honest.
Exactly, and she's just making her presence known to you. So I know very much that she's there, and also she's talking to me about perfume as well. So there must be something about perfume. Either she bought you some perfume, or
she had a favourite perfume, and she bought it in bulk. God bless her. She had about 7 bottles.
Oh, right. Well, she's just reminding you of this perfume. She's laughing and laughing about it. And can I also say as well, she's saying she looked lovely. So you must have, after she passed.
Yeah, we laid her out. Yeah, we did.
And you put her in a really nice her outfit. So she's absolutely pleased. She's gone to heaven and she's looking fabulous.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
So I know that you all went and said your goodbyes to her as well, didn't you?
We were with her when she passed away, and we kept her at home for 12 hours, and we stripped her, we washed her, we put her in pyjamas, we put her favourite moisturiser. She looked lovely. I painted her nails and everything. Well,
this is what she's talking about. She was laughing because you were not trying to be sad about it. You were laughing. You were trying to.
You're dead right.
You know.
Dead right. Yeah. Something happened. She had a catheter. And when she passed away, it could be completely coincidence, but we were laughing and joking, you know. And I said to my sisters, I feel she's in the corner of the room looking at us and laughing. And I bent down and I stood up, and the catheter caught the back of my trousers and pulled my pants down. And I started laughing, and I looked at my mum, who'd obviously passed away, and I said to her, "Don't start," you know. And we were laughing.
Well, that's what they want. That's what they want, is the fun and the laughter, because you know she's always around you. She really, really is.
Definitely. I've only dreamt about her 5 times since she's passed away, and 4 of them times she's been poorly in the dreams. And I've had dreams of where she's gone to talk to me and gold's flown out of her mouth at me, like gold rings and gold pound coins and things, which I thought was bizarre. But the last dream I had, which I'm really pleased I had, she was my normal, crazy, nutty mother running around like the clean freak that she was, doing her obsessive cleaning. So it's the first time I've dreamt of her where she was healthy.
And she's talking to me about a ring as well. So there must be a ring, one of her rings as well.
Yeah, she gave me a ring. She told us, before she passed away, she said, choose which one you want, you know, and we all chose, me and my sisters chose it.
So she's reminding you of that too, because I know that sometimes when you wear it, you fiddle with it, and you think, and without it, you know, you're thinking of her at the same time.
I'll let you into a secret. My mum, 4 days before she died, she picked my diamonds, hand-picked my diamonds for my wedding ring, and I fiddle with my wedding ring a lot when I'm thinking of my mum. So obviously that must be what she's talking about.
On that happy thought, we're going to have to leave it there because you got one more quick one.
I was going to say, you also toasted her at your wedding too, didn't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
So she remembers that with great happiness.
Michelle, it's a fascinating story. I'd love to speak to you for longer, but there's so many people trying to get through tonight, and I've promised that we're going to call people back. But Michelle, thank you very much for sharing that with us this evening. Terri Stromeyer is with us this evening, and we will take one more call after this from Deacon Blue. Here's Fergus Sings the Blues on the evening show from Wave 105. Deacon Blue, Fergus Sings the Blues on Wave 105. It's 10 to 10 now. We have a medium with us tonight. Terri Stromeyer is with us tonight. Phones have gone very, very busy tonight. We're going to squeeze one more call in, and this is Gail on the line. Where are you, Gail?
I'm in Hedge End.
OK, Gail, tell us your story, if you would.
Yes, this is fascinating, what I'm listening to this evening. I love this programme. And I've lost 4 close family members. I've lost my mum and my dad and 2 brothers. And for a long time, I was bemoaning the fact that I never felt them anywhere close to me, and it wasn't fair. And, you know, surely with such close family members around, I'd feel them. And I was talking to my sister one day, who had been to see a medium, and she had actually felt my brother hug her. My brother was killed in a car crash. His car burst a tyre, flipped over, burst into flames. And my brother gave her a hug and told her emphatically that he hadn't suffered. And she was enormously soothed by this. And I just felt, well, why didn't he come and talk to me? It felt grossly unfair. And the years went by and still nothing happened. And then a few years ago, I started seeing a crystal healer. And he was sort of looking at my chakras and telling me all about the different things and what they do. And we were working on my third eye because he said that was closed or broken because I'd had a tumour on my pituitary gland, and he was working to try and get it open. And I was telling him how much I just wished I could feel one of my family members close to me. And this particular night after a healing session, I got into bed, put out the light, and clear as anything, I felt my mum stroke my hair back from my forehead and kiss me on the forehead. And it was just as natural as if she'd done it when I was a little girl. And I sort of started going to sleep, and then I thought, hang on a minute, what just happened? And woke right back up again.
What's going on there then, Terry?
Well, again, that's another sort of occurrence that does happen. But how comforting, and I can totally understand about how you must have felt when your sister has something from spirit and you don't. You feel quite cheated, don't you?
Yes. Well, why not me? Why aren't they talking to me?
Exactly. I really understand that. It was really funny because before you came on, I was very much aware of your dad being close to you. I know we were talking about your mum, but your dad must have loved his garden, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Because I just really wanted to say that he's, you know, as much as we're talking about your mum and that experience, your dad doesn't want to be left out of it.
Well, he's the one. I was probably closer to my dad than to my mum.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably why he's coming to talk to me.
My dad.
Yeah, and you know he's very, very close to you, and I know that you miss him terribly, and you often think about him. Yes. And he was one that always had wisdom. Always you could tell him everything, couldn't you?
He was quite a gentle one.
Yeah, and he had a huge amount of patience. This man too, didn't he?
He did.
Patience of Job. He liked fairness. He didn't like people swearing. No. He was a real gentleman, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And in many ways, you are very like him. He's telling me.
Yes, I am. I'm exactly like him.
So I know it's been very, very difficult, but they're all there, you know. Each and every one of them are very much around you. And you are very much a feeling person. So sometimes I think you probably got very frustrated because you were definitely trying to see them. But sometimes, you know, they just drop information into your mind. So sometimes we don't think about the way that we have information. Sometimes if you look at how a sentence is structured, you'll sometimes think, actually, that's not the way I would talk to myself. And actually, you actually, it's the simplicity of spirit, which we often miss. And there have been times when the spirit have tried very hard to get their message across, but you haven't understood what and how they've done it. And sometimes they use other people. People will tell you something, and they're trying to give you those little...
I've certainly had occasions when something's come to me and I've known something, and I haven't known how I've known it, but I've been absolutely right.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, is this knowing. So don't be upset that you haven't had the same experience as your sister. They just are conveying their information in a very different way, in a way that is for you. It's just understanding it. But no, every thought that you put out, they are aware of it, and they will try and convey messages back to you. And I must tell you, your dad and your mum and your brother, they love you, all right? They really, really do. Is there something like a little box or something? I'm seeing a little box. I don't know if your dad had a little trinket box or some little box or something that they're showing me.
He did, a wooden carved one.
Because he's just showing that to me as a memory. And he was a stickler for time, wasn't he, too?
He was a very conscientious man. He when he had to be somewhere, he was there.
Always there. And his shoes, he always liked his shoes to be clean and tidy.
And his clothes, he was a bit naughty like me. He liked buying things that were nice, and nice shoes and nice clothes. Yeah,
he took great pride in what he wore, and he was a lovely, lovely man, and they are all together, you know. There's also a dog in the spirit world as well.
Yes, that's one of the things I've always wondered, are they all together? Because one of the things that grieved me is after my brother was killed, my father died a few years later, and they were put in separate plots in the crematorium, which upset me. I wanted them to be together. Well, I don't suppose it matters, but it was just, for me, something tangible. I wanted their ashes to be close.
I understand that, but that's just the physical body, but spiritually they're all together.
Yes.
All right. And looking over you. And you do often, even though you probably consciously aren't aware of it, you do see them in your dream state.
Yes. Well, so that's the first time. I've dreamt about my mum and my dad and my brothers since then. And I'm feeling them quite close now because I've got some quite major health issues going on. And I'm feeling them close to me. But I just... That time feeling my mum stroke my forehead is the only time I've tangibly felt something, and I was so close to falling asleep that I sort of did a double take. I thought, hang on, just what went on there? But I just it made me think twice because it felt so natural and so something that had just happened naturally. And then I thought, hang on, there's nobody in the room but me.
Oh, can I just also say you're quite sentimental too? You've kept cards where they've written things as well, because I can see their signatures and the words that they've written to you.
Yes. Yeah, my dad was a poet.
Yeah, so I know you've got some writing of his or a poem. You're going to either put that on a wall or you've had it nice with calligraphy or something. I feel it's like there's one that you particularly really like that he wants you to put up on the wall or is already on a wall.
I'll have to look through my drawer because I've got lots of photos and bits and pieces that my mum and dad had.
But there's one in particular he's talking to me about, one bit of poetry that is very dear to you.
Okay. I'll have to think about that because there's lots of his that I've got that I haven't. All his stuff is dear to me because it was a way of expressing himself that he didn't express verbally. He was a very private man.
I'm sure if you go through them, and this is probably going to be very evidential for you, that you'll find one, well, now we've spoken about it, and one will just hit you and think, my goodness, that really does strike a chord.
Right, okay,
and that's what he's really talking about. And that's like the inner message to you, which you will be able to feel off air.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Well, Gail, another fascinating story. So there's lots of very interesting people tonight. Thank you for coming on and sharing that with us.
Thanks very much.
That's all right. Have a good evening. We're out of time. It's gone absolutely flying by tonight, hasn't it, Terri?
Yes, it has. Amazing. I can't believe it.
It's gone just that hour. I really don't know where that hour's gone. And I really don't know how you do what you do, actually, because you have been bang on with literally everybody that we've spoken to tonight. Absolutely bang on. So I'm very impressed. So I think we'll have to have you back at some future stage.
To it.
If you want to find out more about Terri, you follow the link through to her blog and her websites on my page, which you can find at wave105.com/Andy.